Alright, 29 minutes, and I think I need to zoom out just a tad. Okay. Colors I'm using are raw sienna, which is going to be our yellow parts. And I'm going to jot those in right now because it's probably the easiest parts. It's going to be right here. Okay. And his teeth. And notice I'm using a really light coat, and I'm not terribly worried whether or not I'm a little messy, especially back in here because that's shadow area. And here we go along that way. Okay. Now, is there any place else? Now I'm going to take that yellow light here on the bottom of his eye, right? That. Any place else? This actually, all this this fun fabric here, the lighter stuff. Actually, if we look at it, it's faded, it's old, and try not to drip. I'm just throwing it in lackadaisical. Because we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this one is actually more important than this one down here because that one is, the highlights are easier. Okay, let's see. And this right there, that secondary highlight, that's actually yellow. We're going to come back through like this. That's going to be a little bit more yellow too. Okay, I think we're done with yellows. So curve, curve, swatch. Get those and get those. Okay, I think we're done with yellows. Let's talk about the blues. Now, I'm going to say, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to decide, I think it's an ultramarine blue we have in the shadows. Now I've taken a smaller brush and I'm going to take that ultramarine and go around like that in his eyeballs. Up to where I did the yellow. I don't want it green. I just want it, and all of this is the student grade Paynes. We're also, and notice that my blue is see-through. I have thinned it enough that I can see through it. It is not so heavy. I am not taking blue and going like that. It's thin. I want to be able to see through it. If you cannot make it to the point it's see-through, then use some white and lighten it up like this. Okay. There we go. See, since it is a student grade, I can see through it very well. Let's see, we'll come down like that. This eyeball. And this right here. Now, notice I'm not filling this in. Right here, that's actually going to be, see, this is kind of a, that shows the socket of his eye. Go. I've got a lot of white over here, so if I need it, I got it. Okay. Actually, this right in through here is a lot of blue. That lighter blue here. Okay. Now, the trick here is actually this just slightly fatter. It's a little bit more blue, and I should have included that in the drawing, but believe it or not, when I was looking at it, I didn't notice it. It's just a tad bit. You can either choose to leave it out or add it in, up to you. And we're just adding that white to it. And this right here is blue, white as well. And again, I'm using the Ultramarine. Here we go. Get it in, get it in. Now see, on some of the darker places like that, I'm going to use that darker blue right here. I'm going to come down like that. Okay. Now remember, this is actually red. The reason I have that shadowing here is because in the red there's shadowing. So this right here, actually the shadow comes across like this. Okay. And we're gonna add a little of that blue to it. Or a little bit of that white. Not much. I want to keep it mostly blue. I want to keep that blue. Just a little. I'm going to take a little more of that blue. I'm going to come under that nose. Just look, it's going kind of at an angle here. Like this. And here's another, like that. This is the lighter blue. Now over on this side it's going to be a little darker blue, but not much. So let's not even, it's not that important. There. Let's make sure we get all our blues in. Okay. Now down here is interesting. Let's take our dark blue. This is full strength ultramarine right there in that shadow. Then we're going to see where that white is. We're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it kind of blends together. We're going to put a little more white right here on this side, and we're going to do the same thing, back and forth, back and forth. There we go. Because, believe it or not, I'll show you why we're doing that. Let me grab this one. I'm going to take some white here, and I'm just going to go right over it. Look at that. Just shows the direction of his open mouth. That, I'll dry that off in a little bit. Okay. So what else we need? Where else? Now the pink, I think we're going to wait until the end to do the pink. That's a little too dark, I think, because we don't want it. There. A little more white. There we go. There we go. Yep. Okay. Need a little more white in here. Okay. I'm going to take, I've got a lot of pencil lines that I didn't cover up, so just kind of covering those up at this moment. Notice I've already painted in all my really dark, so it's, I don't have a whole lot that I have to do on that. I'm going to take some lighter blue, and now I'm going to work towards the highlights on that. Which means, see how it's still a blue. I'm working towards the highlights, and the highlights come across like this. See, there's the eyeball bulge. I think we made the eyeball bulge a little too small. Let's try it like that. And this comes down like that. Yep. Okay. There we go. You gotta make sure it comes down in the right places. Like this. Here's. Now, I know right now you're going, but I can't see any of the highlights because it's already blue. Well, believe it or not, your highlights are going to be warmed up because the rest of his face is so cool. Here we go. Just kind of melding it in. Let's get our whites. It's kind of like a white, but we're not. It's not quite white. Watch. Our highlights aren't going to be quite white. Don't worry. Show you in a little bit. There you go. We're just now, we've got this light, I mean just a touch of white, or a touch of blue in that white. It's still blue white. Just basically, I have not cleaned my brush, I've wiped it off, so whatever's left is left. And we will clean up that shadow a little more. Let's put it back in like that. And then we just go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Okay, back and forth, yep. Let's go through, there's some white here. We need to show that this chin is definitely bluish color. Okay. There we go, oh. And we keep going, keep going, keep going. Here's a dark blue right here, and this shows the chin is kind of doubled over like that. And we keep going, keep going. We have a secondary chin thing going on here. It's called a buccula. It's a double chin. There we go. Now notice that that's not really it's more blue than it is white. Now this is where we start actually seeing more of the white again. Right here. There we go. That's a... Now, this is actually going to be the pinkish parts. So let me get all the light blues and dark blues in. Let's get that right here. Like that. Try not to hit your nose. Just around here. There we go. A little more whites. I'm going to hit that right there. This comes along. There we go. Okay. We can actually come up and curve right about here. Show the chin a little. There you go. Now forehead. I think we're just going to leave that pretty much. I think we're done with most of our coloring in. Oh, the eyeball on this one. I'm so funny. Okay, because we're going to use the same blue. This is going to be the blue that, okay, half, remember half, and then we rinse off white, or not white. We're going to make sure our brush is really, 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 really clean, because we're not adding any white. We're just taking a thin down raw sienna. There we go. We want it to be transparent. And I do have to fix a little bit here, because I've got a small pupil on that side. I gotta kind of fix that pupil right there. more. Okay, now on to the pinks. The pink is pretty easy. What we're going to use is a crimson. Crimson red. When we're going to use both cadmium and crimson. Okay, crimson is more like lipstick. Cadmium is more like tomato. So I'm going to take my crimson, then I'm going to add white to it. And trust me, you want to do a little bit of crimson and a lot of white, because reds take over. Okay, so we're going to, right here, I'm going to show how those connect right here. You see, what he's getting a reflection from is his hair. His hair is red, so it's kind of reflecting that. You might need a touch more, but kind of watch it. There we go, a little bit darker. And we can actually come and fade over some of that blue and just lightly let it kind of blend together. Especially right here. Okay, let's see where else we need it. I think we need it right here. Up to here. I think that's. And then we can just blend it in. We can add the blue back in if we're not dark enough. Because I don't think it is. We need to darken that a little bit. And we'll take that blue back in just a little bit. There we go. Any place else? Yeah, on the neck. Got that red and white combination. Gonna go like that on the neck, right about there. Okay. Now we're gonna take that same crimson and we're going to add a little bit of blue to it. And that ultramarine blue and crimson really aren't great. Aren't great purple. Actually, it's not a bad purple. There we go. It's more of a grapey, winey purple. There you go. We're going to use that to darken up that shadow. I'm going to grab some more ultramarine blue. I'm going to bring it around here on that shadow in that nose, right here. There we go. Get a little thick spot there going on. Now, I'm going to take some of that just regular crimson. I'm going to follow what I just did. And one of the ways to make a circle is anchor your pinky. Anchor the pinky and go around that point. There we go. Now we're going to come back through a little bit right here. And notice I haven't cleaned my brush, so. And the reason we're using the crimson red versus the cadmium red, is that cadmium red is going to be our highlight colors. So we've used it like that. Now watch, I'm going to show you the difference. Here's a cad red. Now when it meets that crimson red, see how you can't really tell, but you can see that it's brighter, it's shinier, it's like on my, there we go. And the reason we just colored over what we just did is because we're unifying that color in that spot. Let me add a little bit of that raw sienna right there. Wait a minute. I made a mistake. I'm gonna take it out. There you go. That's our faded, not quite, highlight. And I'm taking more CAD and going around this way. There we go. Here's his little honky nose here. Okay. Got that. Isn't that awesome? We'll put a little bit more around that highlight. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to take my pinky. I'm going to dip it in the white. I'm going to put that highlight in. Watch. And I know you're like, wait a minute, that's not a highlight. Kind of is. Wait, watch. Okay. The reason that I had to do that is because just throwing it in makes it just look like frosting on a cake. So now, oops, there. Is that better? It's closer. Hold on. Now I'm going to resize it again. There we go. That's a highlight. Do we need any others? We kind of need a yellow one. Looks like a yellow one down here. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and that raw sienna. And I'm trying to see what I'm seeing. Yeah. Here's our reflective light. I think I'll take that raw sienna and put it in here and see how that looks. See, it doesn't look as good. A little more white with the raw sienna. Walk it up. There. That's better. Okay, we got that much done. Just see, right around here is his real highlight. Right here is his real highlight. So, I'm looking. Let's put, this is the blue, this is the crimson. I'm going to take a little bit of that blue with the crimson. And I'm going to come back through like this. See, I stepped it down. I made it darker. Okay. Go. Now we're going to take our red, cadmium red, and we're going to bring it back through. The cadmium is any place that's lighter. The crimson is the darker. It's our shadow color. There you go. There's his nose on that side. I think we're going to bring it in like that. Those are our, that's both the cad. Now we're going to take the crimson and with a little touch of that blue in there. Just a touch. And when I say a touch, I don't mean a whole bunch. I want to be able to still say, oh, that's red. I want just a little. Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing with his lips. Okay? Crimson and blue. Right here. Right here. That crimson blue combination right there. Crimson, blue. Right here. On our little piranha lips here. So they look like piranha lips. Now notice I kind of skipped a little bit right there because we're going to make that a highlight. Okay, crimson, red, right here. Almost. to the center, almost to the center. There's a reason behind that. Watch, I will show you. See, that's crimson blue, right? If we take that crimson and we add just a touch of white to it, not a whole lot, we're not trying to make it pink. We're going to bring it up like that and follow. Now we're going to take the cadmium, go like that. All of a sudden his lip just got brighter. Look at that. Ta-da! Cool. Another red up here. This is still the cadmium red. That's cadmium. Up and around. There you go. And we're going to add a little more crimson blue. So we're going to kind of outline it now. Now notice something that happens. We are not, if you mix ultramarine blue and cadmium yellow, or cadmium red, guess what? It gets this weird funky hue that's not really a great color. But as we're doing this, we're mixing the crimson red with it. It doesn't have an issue being with the cad reds. Okay. Now let's see, what do we need? We need red, crimson red and blue. More blue than red this time. So we're going to come in here. We're going to start our darks. Okay. Here we go. That's coming around my teeth. Now when we come back through with our tongue color, we'll have a built-in highlight. And more blue, I think.
In the deepest waters of melodic house, soulful techno, and ambient electronica. Welcome to the Deep Edition, a weekly mix show from the world's top deep house producers. Saturdays at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Most of the gums are going to be about that color too. So we're just going around our teeth on this, and we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. That winey red color, we're going to use right there, right there. Any place that you see that there might be a gum, there, that looks like a gum. We're not terribly worried about the bottom, but there we go. Now let's do the cad right here, and watch going around your teeth. We're just fading it in. Cad. There we go, into our teeth here, and fade it in.